addressing issues in health, and to that effect, we have a special guest joining us today. Today on the Educate segment, we will be looking at myopia, effect, symptoms, intervention, method. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll get right into the conversation. Don't go.
Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Atn Health Forum, where we'll make a compilation on critical health issues designed to reach all segments of the society and provide solutions through the instrumentality of medical professionals. And we have with us today Dr. Nnamdi Wilikwe. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you here.
My pleasure.
Okay, so we're looking at myopia. What is myopia and what are the main causes?
Okay, myopia, in the layman's terminology, means short-sightedness.
Okay.
That means that what a normal eye can see at a standard distance, a myope cannot see. Or even if he or she sees, may not see very clearer as that of the other person, or the other eye that is an emmetrope. Emmetrope is someone who does not have a refractive error. Myopia is the converse of hyperopia or hypermetropia. That's long-sightedness. So those who are long-sighted are structured, their eyes are structured in a way that is opposite of an eye that is myopic. Myopia is becoming an epidemic, so to say. Every 13th of May, every year has been set aside for myopia awareness campaign.
Okay.
About 23% of the world population has been estimated to be myopic, and for about 4.7% of which is from Africa. Is more around Asia, South America, and then Africa, about the third, considering the continents.
Okay.
So myopia, a myope has either what we call a very thick cornea. I'm talking about what causes myopia now.
Yes.
The cornea is the black part of the eye,
Okay.
the visible black portion, the round
Black part of the
eye. Okay. When it's thick, all right, too thick to allow passage of light, because the art of seeing is about light that falls on that cornea,
Okay.
the center part of the cornea, which is called pupil.
Okay.
So when the light falls on it, it passes and forms an image on the retina. So if the cornea is too thick, it induces myopia, all right? Another part of the structure of the eye that the thickness too is considered or contributes to myopia is a part of the eye we call lens. The lens is inside the eye. It plays a role in transmitting light to the part of the eye we call retina that is responsible for vision. Okay. All right. The other thing is that if the eyeball is long, the eyeball, the measurement, what we call axial length, the measurement between the cornea and the back part of the eye that is around the brain. If it is too long, it induces myopia too. All right. Okay. Conversely, if it's short, it induces hyperopia. Okay. Like I said earlier. Now, it's not a disease condition per se. People who are myopic are born with it. All right. Okay. It's not a disease condition. They are born with it, even though lifestyle too contributes to myopia. But to an extent, it is hereditary. Most families where you have parents, both parents or one.
Hold on, just before you get me confused with all the medical terms. So when you said that one of the causes can be when the cornea is too thick.
Yeah.
So is there a reason what makes the cornea too thick? Is it avoidable?
It's just people are born with that kind of structure.
Okay, it's not something that can be controlled.
That can be controlled. That one, I'll tell you the one that can be controlled. That one has to do with lifestyle. Okay. But this group of myopes whose own came from birth can
controlled.
actually be controlled, but depending on the degree of the myopia.
Okay.
Okay. But the one that is induced by lifestyle, that one, the control is just within us. That one is easily controlled. So basically, what causes myopia is the structure, how the eye is structured. Okay. The other thing that can cause myopia too is lifestyle, like prolonged near work. What I mean by prolonged near work is you're always reading at a very close range for a long time. And that explains why the rate of myopia, or the incidence of prevalence of myopia is shooting up now. Because the reading population has increased in the world. All right. Most people, because of the use of gadgets, the phone, the computer, and even reading from the hard copy. All right. When you are spending so much time on a reading material at a very close range, you may induce some level of
So it kind of configures the eyes to only see things that are closer.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. So when we start talking about, when we are discussing how to treat myopia, we can now educate people on how to manage their reading. Because it would be naive to suggest that because near work causes myopia, that people should stop reading. Okay. No, but in as much as we read, there is a strategy that has been adopted to read as much as you can and then not induce myopia.
Okay. So now that we've known what myopia is and the causes of myopia, what are the symptoms? Like, what do you see? And then you know that this child has myopia before we even talk about adults, especially for children, well, adults too. But what are the symptoms of myopia?
Okay, a myope sees things that are far off as blurry.
Okay. Right,
blurriness of vision. Okay, when a child sees, sits in the class and cannot make out the board. Talking about children now. At the rear, if a child sees at the rear and cannot see the board clearly, every time the child will want to come in front to look at the board to copy.
I see.
That child might be myopic. All right. In the house, the child wants to watch television and almost wants to enter inside the TV. That child might be myopic. All right. All right. So one beautiful thing about myopes is that they can actually read for long. They can do a sustained long reading because they are very comfortable reading at close range.
I see.
Okay. So they are very intelligent people in most cases. But one chief symptom of myopia is that they don't see clearly at far. All right. Okay. When an object is kept at far, they can misjudge it. That's why it's dangerous for. It is implicated for most accidents because myope driving is like a time bomb.
Sure.
Because you cannot make out pothole in the nearest distance. You can't read road signs effectively. You know, to fly an aircraft, that would be so suicidal, suicidal, right? You know, and all. So basically, these are the symptoms. It comes with headache, depending on the degree of myopia. Okay. That's blurriness of vision, headache, sometimes tearing. Okay. Okay. And depending on the degree too, it can come with some eye ache. Okay. All right. Okay, so basically these are the symptoms.
How about the sandy sensation? Some people complain of sandy sensation.
No, that's not attributed to myopia. Okay. A lot of eye conditions can cause sandy sensation. Yeah.
And then again, we talked about myopia for children. I want to know, at what age can it present? Is it possible that an adult, can present with myopia at their adulthood, not from childhood?
Of course, of course. From age 40, most adult myopes, the age range falls around 40, and then later around 70. Some can become myopic around 40 plus, and then those who didn't become myopic within that period may develop myopia around 70. All right, but for the children, around ages 6 and 7, a myopic child can, the eye can, the myopia can show up.
Okay.
All right, very obviously that
okay.
you dictate that this child is not seeing clearly at far.
Okay.
So, and then when we advise too that the management of that condition should start almost immediately, because at age 12, it becomes more difficult to manage. Because the eye has started peaking. What I mean, the peaking, when we say peaking, that's development has come fully. All right, so managing the myopia might become a bit, because of course it's progressive. Let me just mention that too. Myopia is progressive with advancing age.
Okay.
Now, if a child is 4 and the child is already myopic, and by age 5, 6, you discover that the power of that myopia has increased to what it used to be at age 4, especially when not managed.
Okay.
All right. So as the child grows older, too, you discover that the power, the prescription will keep increasing. All right, will keep increasing. If it increases in an alarming rate, it can induce other pathologic eye conditions. Okay.
So if myopia presents early in a child, can it be corrected?
Sure. It depends on the degree of the myopia. It can be corrected completely if it's very slight.
Okay.
But if it is not, if the degree is higher, it can be managed in a way that the progression will be halted. The myopia will still be there, but it won't be progressing. It won't be increasing. All right, it won't be increasing. So early detection is just the best. That's why we advocate for preschool enrollment screening, because at age 5, 6, the child is about to be enrolled in the primary basic education. So if the screening is done at that time, those who are myopic can be picked. Okay. And then just a pair of lenses can do. Or for those who are high myopes, all right, there's also called atropine therapy. There's a medication that can be used to halt the progression of that myopia, all right, even though not completely eradicating it, but it can be managed. Okay. So it won't jump, it won't increase. That's why sometimes you see some people wearing, when I was about in the studio, I saw someone, I told this person is myopic. Yeah. I've not run a test on that person, but I saw his lenses. Okay. And I was able to know that he's a myope. Yes. Okay. So most probably, if he had controlled the myopia growing up, the lenses, the myopia may still be there, but the lenses may not be as thick as what it is presently. I see. Yes. So that's how it works.
Okay, talking about managing, what are the current treatment options for myopia, including corrective measures, lifestyle changes, and emerging technologies?
Yeah, let me start from myopia induced by lifestyle. Okay. Okay. Like I said earlier, prolonged near work, which is like reading from a hard copy or computer or your phone and all, can induce myopia. Research has proven that. So we have this 20-20-20 acronym that we use. For every close walk for about 20 minutes, we advise that the reader or the user takes the eyes off that material for another 20 seconds, keeping the eye at an object at about 20 foot. So 20-20-20.
Okay, let me understand that. Let me understand that properly. So I'm a big reader. Okay, so this is really interesting for me. Yeah. So I'm reading a book. I have to be time conscious. Yeah. Once it's 20 minutes, I should be able to take my eyes off the book or whatever it is I'm reading or working on, and then look way ahead for another 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Before I come back.
Come back to your reading material. Continue. 20 seconds won't. 20, a second is just bam, bam. That's 2 seconds. So 20 seconds will not make any difference. You still cover whatever you want to cover from the material.
But the thing is, for voracious readers like us, when you start reading an interesting content, you lose track of time.
Exactly. Exactly. But if you have this in mind, you are losing track of time because probably you didn't know about this. But if you have this in mind, you can do it. 20 seconds is just there. Before you know it, you will go back to your material.
So even if it's a movie, whatever it is you're doing,
you can pause and do that and
come back.
20 seconds up to a minute, though.
Yeah.
It's not even up to half a minute.
Yes.
So it's small, it's doable. It can't make you lose anything from that material. It helps the eyes. All right. It's better not to develop. It's better to even miss a little of what you're reading, if it is, which I know is not possible, than developing an eye condition because of reading. And then, like I said earlier too, it is very wrong and so naive to say, oh, people should stop reading because we have discovered that plenty reading is inducing myopia, it's increasing the population of myopes. No. So that's why this can come in to help. All right. So that's just that. We advocate too that people do eat well, quality food, not eating plenty. The nutritionists will always tell us how to eat, but then there are foods that are good for the eyes. Okay, green leafy vegetables, fruits that gives vitamins. Okay, so these ones are good for the health of the eyes too. Okay, so sometimes too we avoid the meals that are rich in carbs and sugar because it has, if someone develops diabetes, whether type 1, type 2, or if the sugar level of the body rises, it gives that temporary drop in vision. Okay. So while we talk about eating healthy, it's very important too for the health of the eyes, even though we are discussing myopia. Okay, so the other intervention options is surgery for those who have already developed myopia, especially those who has high myopia. Okay. Who's of course, for those people, if you make lenses for them, the lenses will come out so thick. Although there's a technology now, a type of lens called ultra thin, that they can benefit from. The lenses can come out as slim and thin as normal eyewears. Okay. Of course, because the person whose lenses is so thick, those days when we are growing up, we say, this person is wearing bottle. Coca-Cola bottle. And it affecting the quality of life. Yes, the person might start feeling odd and all. So, yes. Yeah. So, it's available now. Those whose prescription a Coca-Cola bottle can benefit from the ultra thin, so they can have their Coca-Cola bottle changed into something cosmetically appealing, So can
they use contact lenses?
I was about to come to that. They can benefit from contact lenses too. Yes, very well, But what happens if the myopia is mixed with what we call astigmatism? Because I didn't mention that earlier. A myope can still be myopic and astigmatic at the same time. What I mean is, this person can have myopia and have another eye condition.
That was the next question I was even going to ask.
Yes, called astigmatism. So in that case, the person will wear a type of contact lenses we call toric contact lenses. And most patients do not tolerate toric contact lenses. Because for toric contact lenses, because the cylinder there, what we call cylinder, there's a way that the contact lenses must be positioned every time to allow for a clearer vision. Otherwise, this person will have ache and won't be able to sustain the usage of that contact lenses. Okay, so those whose myopia is not mixed with another condition can benefit from contact lenses straight up. Okay, but apart from surgery, contact lenses and the surgery too, the surgery is a non-invasive surgery. It uses laser technology. Okay, they don't cut. Okay, the laser beam is what does the job. Okay, and the person can throw away his glasses or her glasses. That one is available too. Okay, so the other intervention is a regular spectacle prescription. Those who cannot afford surgery, or of course the surgery is more expensive. especially in this part of the world. Okay, can just those who cannot do that can just get a pair of spectacle prescription for themselves and see very well.
Okay, so aside the astigmatism that you mentioned, how does myopia impact the risk of other eye conditions like cataract, glaucoma, retina detachment?
Yeah. For high myopes, those ones are implicated. You know, glaucoma. That's the most. For those who are high myopes, they're always having high intraocular pressure, and when the pressure in the eye is high, and it's not attended, left unattended for a while, it can erode the part of the eye called the retina. So when that happens, any vision lost from the damage or from erosion on the retina cannot be regained. That's glaucoma. Okay, so apart from glaucoma, for high myopes too, they can develop retinal detachment, they can develop cataract. All right. So, but if managed, if not left unattended, it won't get to that one is secondary. Those conditions are secondary. They're always developed from prolonged high myopia that has been left unattended. Okay, so but if the myopia is managed, it won't get to that secondary eye conditions. Yes.
Okay, so when you started talking about the causes of myopia, you did mention that it's mostly genetic.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask, are there genetic testing or counseling that can help in, like, options, any genetic counseling options?
Well, yeah, you know, the population of high myopes are very low. Okay, not alarming, even though the population of myopes are very alarming. So, and then the management of or the prognosis of myopia is good. People can be myopic once they wear their glasses, they'll be fine. They can wear their glasses till 100. So most times they don't pay attention into trying to do the science world has not delved into that part of trying to do testing and counseling people who want to, like we do in genotype and all that, to avoid having an SS baby and all. So even though a couple has myopia and they are ready to marry, it's not a problem. Even if they end up giving birth to children or who has myopia, everybody can just wear glasses in the house and be fine.
A family of 4 eyes.
Yeah, sure. It's not a problem. You know, when a myope wears his or her glasses, he sees as much as the other person. So there's no, just that most times, because of awareness and because these services, eye care services, are not available to most people, they seem not to, they stay with it. And some people assume that the way they are seeing is the way every other person is seeing. Not until they test. So once the test is run, they will discover that I've been missing. This is how the world looks. And I've been missing. I've had a situation after testing someone in an eye camp. The person was still wearing what we call the trial frame. When I put the appropriate lenses and he was able to see, he just grabbed me and the hall was third. I know this plastic chair on the third floor.
Yes, he was sleep and break.
He slept, broke, both of us fell.
He was so excited to see better.
I'm telling you, he was so excited. It was just, I understood what happened to him, and he just had a new view of the world.
Yes.
And was very, so that's just it. That's just it. It's an interesting, it doesn't lead to, myopia does not cause blindness, except when those who are high myopes fail to take care. So they will now develop those secondary eye conditions, myopia, glaucoma, retinal detachments, cataract, and all. Okay. So for cataract, surgical intervention can correct it and get the eyes back. For glaucoma, any vision loss cannot be regained. For retinal detachment, surgery can help too. Okay, so.
Okay, let me ask again. You said when we talked about counseling, you said it's not a big deal a father with myopia and a mother with myopia. So are there chances that two adults who don't have myopia can give birth to a child with myopia?
Yes. You know, the one thing about genetics is that it can pass in generations, not immediate. That's why sometimes, you can see two dark couples giving birth to
a fair child. Oh, an albino.
Yeah, it's normal. To us, we know it's normal. Yeah, but the society may frown at it. How come?
What happened here?
Somehow, somewhere, in fact, the couple may not remember that someone, in fact,
their family.
the father to the couple may not even remember that someone somewhere, but in that generation,
there was an
albino. That's the truth. Either from the woman or from the man, somewhere, somehow. Okay, so for the myopes, couples who are myopic can go ahead and marry. Is not an issue. Okay, so if every other condition is perfect for them, myopia shouldn't be a burden.
Okay, you're still watching ATN Health Forum. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport.
Welcome back. This is still ATN Health Forum, and today we have the honors of having Dr. Willie-Quit Nnamdi in the house, and we're talking about myopia. So at this point, I want to know, how can parents or educators help prevent or reduce the progression of myopia in children?
Yeah, very important. We advocate that every school should make it part of their, what they call it now, back to school or whichever way. But for any child that must enroll in a school, there should be, amongst every other test, an eye test. Very importantly, because sometimes when the child underperforms, the teacher or the parent assumes that that child is too playful or is
not paying attention,
empty-headed. He's not, but the child is not seeing. That's the truth. And because he cannot see, children already they're already distracted. Being a child is enough distraction.
It's enough distraction, okay. Actually.
Now, this same child is not seeing well. That takes the person off, and then whatever the teacher is doing there is not his business again, because he tries to look at what the teacher is writing, and he cannot see it. So that's enough frustration, and then he won't do well. Imagine copying from a colleague who probably did not understand. So whatever the colleague writes or has, that's what
a child
copies. And at the end of the day, child won't be passing his exams, and they say, oh, the child is not doing well in school, and or maybe the parents or anybody who the child is under may say, okay, let's take this child to learning trade or something else. Meanwhile, everybody has the same mental capacity to absorb that same thing, but we lose it because sometimes we do not look in this direction. There's no preschool enrollment. In my days, I can't remember any when we are going to school. I doubt if they do any, although in the other part of the world it's obtainable. You can't just enroll a child into school without having an eye test. The only people that comes to us to have an eye test for their admission is those who are going for law school. So I was wondering, this person has gone through primary school, secondary school, nursery school probably, university, and then law school, and they want the person to come and have an eye test because the person wants to come to law school. How? did that same person, was the eye test compulsory for the university education? Maybe the person would have had a first class and he came out with third class. And then you're asking the person to come and do eye test to be able to sustain the quality of work in law school. Why did you not consider that earlier? Maybe the person would have done better. All right? It's very important. It's important because everybody is equally endowed to be intelligent. But most times, when the eyes are not, because the eye is an extension of the brain.
Yeah.
What the eye sees is what the brain interprets. You're able to see me that I'm wearing a dark cloth because your eyes are seeing me. The light that falls on me throws on your cornea and then passes through the pupil to the retina to interpret, for the brain to interpret. So this man is like this. This is the color, you know. Okay, so that's it. So for a child who is not seeing, the person won't concentrate and then make mess of all the days in the school.
Okay. Now, you're saying that, especially teachers, when we talk about enrollment, there should be pre-enrollment. Pre-enrollment,
it should be compulsory, in fact. In fact, the government, it shouldn't be left in the hands of course, most schools, we have a lot of private schools around now.
Yes.
Okay. It shouldn't just be left in the hands of the authorities of those schools. The government should make it mandatory.
Okay.
All right. It should be compulsory for every. If you cannot do that, if you don't have capacity to do that, then don't run the school, because if you are running a school and some people are, although they may not have this idea, they may not know what I'm talking about, but it is true for some schools that we have done ransom demonstration, like most times in World Sight Days, World Glaucoma Week, Myopia Awareness Week. We go to schools to educate them and then run some tests. And they discover that maybe 10–15% of the class, of the people in the class, has myopia or other forms of refractive error. And they are in the class, not being attended. They just left, like they are just left, because one, their parents are now aware, then the teacher is not aware. All right? And so a particular set of students or pupils will always pass. Then the other people are perpetual failure. It's not supposed to be. Sometimes their eyes are the problem. It may not be myopia, it could be hyperopia, it could be astigmatism. The eyes are the problem. All right? Otherwise, when you say concentrate and read, and I can concentrate and read, you cannot concentrate and read, because you have, for those who have astigmatism cannot read effectively, depending on the degree of astigmatism anyway, for a very long time. You have eye ache, you start tearing, and all. So for a child, the person can easily throw away that book and go to play, you know. So that's just it. So both parents and the school management and the government, all hands needs to be on deck to be able to control this surging rate of myopia. Yes.
Okay, so when you were talking about myopia in children, you said that some of them can't see from the back of the class.
Yes, of course.
To see the board. Now, ideally, teachers should be observant to say this child does not see from the back, and then you ask the parents to take this child for an eye test. But it can be somewhat tricky because children are quite interesting. Now you walk into a class. I used to be a teacher.
Okay.
So you walk into a class and you see a child standing next to the board. While you're there, the child tells you, I can't see from my seat. You let that child stand there.
Okay.
The next day you come, that child has a partner.
Okay.
Another person is standing there. Well, I cannot see. Because he gave the first person preference,
yeah, exactly.
Every other person cannot see from their seat.
Exactly. That's why they're children.
Exactly. So I've had a case where a child who had the challenge, I had to refer the child to the parents, take this child for an eye test, and they did, and it came back that the child had myopia. She came back with glasses. Okay. And then, your glasses is so beautiful. Your glasses is beautiful. Where did you? And she had to explain. She was a very smart child. Oh, I went to the hospital. I couldn't see most of the things the doctors had said. And every other child could not see the board anymore. In fact, they couldn't see the board, and they already know that if I go to the hospital, I have to tell the doctor that I don't see, and he will give me glasses. So now, in cases like that, how do you know when the child is being childish and when the child actually does have myopia or eye challenge?
That's why the open general tests for those people, the would-be students, is important.
Okay.
So that we'll screen those who are actually myopic, would know, and the recommendation will be made. So those who want to, who are malingers, those who want to malinger, who want to fake having myopia. No, normally, we have had cases where people will come to, parents will bring children to the clinic, and maybe one or two of them has issues that require them to wear glasses. And then because the other one is wearing glasses, the other person will say, mommy, I want to wear glasses. I have eye problems too. So what we do, we just make a plano, what we call plano lenses for such people to still make them look feel like others.
But it doesn't have any effect on that.
Harmful rays, harmful radiations from those systems, the projector, the computer system, and all.
Okay, because I hear most people that work with computers.
It's not immediate. It's usually long term.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. If after prolonged exposure of the eyes to that light, the eye can develop what we call retinal degeneration. That comes much later in life. Okay. Or sometimes too, at the immediate, the person can start developing having what we call astinopia, some symptoms of eye ache. The eye is feeling tired so easily. And then for children, of course, they won't be able to concentrate anymore. Okay, so the effect of the UV light can be warded off by a pair of blue quartz or Blu-ray photochromic lenses. That can just do. Okay,
for time's sake, one last question before we go. Are there any latest research on myopia control or potential future treatments?
Yeah, for every year, while we do advocacy, because it has been estimated that